गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं। यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। We had seen in the earlier session that the chapter 18 that we are going to study is a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita in retrospect. What is the term for such retrospect summary? Upasamhara Rupa Sangraha. And the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 is Upakrama Rupa Sangraha. And the 15th chapter is Abhyasa Rupa Sangraha. If you see the second chapter and the 18th chapter, they almost have the same number of verses. Second chapter is 72. And the 18th chapter is 76, I think. 78. But if you remove the last portion, which is actually connecting the Bhagavad Gita back to Mahabharata, it will come to 73 verses. It was very interesting. Almost the same. That's an observation. Now, obviously, when you are reading the 18th chapter, it is a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita as we have discussed. But the 18th chapter begins with a question of Arjuna. Question of Arjuna. Now, when a question is being asked, it is necessary that it has got a seed in the earlier chapter. Because a question is always based on what you heard. And an ideal question is based on what you heard just recently. Suppose you are asking a question of something what you heard long back. Naturally, what were you doing till then? Sleeping or what in the class? So the question of Arjuna necessarily presupposes something what the Lord has explained in the 17th chapter. Is this clear? The question is, what did the Lord say in the 17th chapter for a question to come? In the 17th chapter, what Sri Krishna does is that he speaks of everything in threes: Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Sattva is the best, Rajas is the mediocre, Tamas is the lowest. He starts by saying each one's Shraddha is dependent upon their mind. Each one's Shraddha is dependent upon the mind. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata. O Arjuna, depending upon each one's mind, their Shraddha is. Sattva here is mind. Sattvanurupa, following the mind. Dependent upon the mind is their Shraddha. Shraddha here is not to be translated merely as faith. Usually when we hear the word Shraddha, the translation we give is faith. But faith is actually a leaning. It's a leaning, where you lean to. It's a inclination. So when Sri Krishna says that according to your mind, your Shraddha is, it means according to your mind, your leanings are, your inclinations are. And speaking about this Shraddha, this leaning, this inclination, he says, if you are a Sattvic person, meaning if you have a Sattvika Shraddha, your leaning will be like this towards worship. Your leaning will be like this towards food. Your leaning will be like this towards the spiritual practices. What kind of spiritual practices? So what he says is that whether it is ahara, yajna, tapa, spiritual practices, dhanam, the kind of charity you offer, all these are dependent upon your Shraddha, which in turn is based on your mind. So mind, Shraddha, and the life becomes threefold. Am I audible to the last row? Mind. So let us use a Sanskrit word. Mind, how would you say in Sanskrit? Manaha or Chittam. Here Bhagavan Sri Krishna uses the word Sattva, Sattvanurupa. But that doesn't matter. So mind. Then you have, depending upon the mind, your Shraddha. So in the bracket you put Shraddha means leaning or inclination. Leanings or inclination. And then from there, all facets of your life will become threefold. If it is Sattvic mind, you will have a Sattvic Shraddha, leanings. And then your ahara would be, that Sattvic Shraddha would be reflected in Sattvika ahara leaning. So a Rajasic mind will have a Rajasika Shraddha and would prefer a Rajasika ahara. Are you getting? A Tamasika mind would have a Tamasika Shraddha and there would be a Tamasika ahara food. leanings, inclination towards that. The same way, he says, if it is a sattvic mind, there will be a sattvic shraddha and the tapas will be sattvika. So, various aspects. The dana will be sattvika. I'm sure you would like to know, some of you must have studied, but even otherwise, I will just read out how he says what would be the sattvika ahara. Remember, the ahara is sattvika is a different matter. Your leaning towards that ahara will be there. If your mind is sattvic, your shraddha will be sattvic, your leaning will be sattvic, and the type of food you want would be sattvic. He is not telling this food is sattvika. He is rather making a very important point. If your mind is sattvic, your leaning will be sattvic, and the preferred food will be sattvic. That way tapas, that way dana, everything he defines. Now, let me just read out. Food which promote longevity, intelligence, vigor, health, happiness, and cheerfulness, which are juicy, substantial, and naturally agreeable, are liked, careful, are liked by men of sattvika nature. Do you see here? He is not saying this is sattvic food. He says this will be liked by people who have got sattvika shraddha. Now rajasika, food which is bitter, sour, salty, over hot, pungent, dry and burning, and which cause suffering, grief and sickness, are dear to the rajasika. Even as you eat, you suffer. But it is dear to the rajasika. Is it not? Now, what about the food which is liked by the tamasika? Food which is ill cooked or not fully ripe, insipid, stale, and which is impure too, is dear to men of tamasika disposition. Now this is food. Now if you take about dana, what example I am giving? A gift which is bestowed with a sense of duty on one from whom no return is expected, at appropriate time and place unto a deserving person, has been declared as sattvika. And what is rajasika? A gift which is bestowed with a grudging spirit and with the object of getting a service in return or in the hope of obtaining a reward is rajasika. Same way tamasika. A gift which is made without grace and with a disdainful spirit, out of time and place, and to undeserving persons, is said to be tamasika. Now in this way what he does is that tapas, the austerity also he shows what is preferred by a sattvika, what is preferred by a rajasika, what is preferred by a tamasika person. In this way, every facet of life, so to say, important facet of life, he takes up and he divides it as sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. The point to be noted is that because it is liked by sattvika disposition, if you practice that, there is a possibility that you get a sattvika disposition. So in this way, he divides sattvika, rajasika, tamasika and tells that the one who has got a sattvika disposition and therefore has the sattvika yajna, performs the sattvika yajna, performs sattvika tapas, has an inclination for sattvika ahara, such a person, he becomes ready for spiritual wisdom. Such a person becomes a adhikari. Now, when he has divided everything as sattvika, rajasika, tamasika with respect to ahara, dana, tapas and yajna, naturally Arjuna's question here is, can you please this way pratak division, can you in this way divide and show me sannyasa? In other words, what he is asking is that I would like to see sannyasa also in the context of sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. So the 17th chapter, which has got this kind of distinction of sattvika, rajasika and tamasika, becomes the seed for Arjuna to ask a question for even dividing sannyasa as sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. Sannyasa, tyaga, renunciation, sannyasa, renunciation. So show me, like how you did in the 17th chapter, showed the distinction, and you said a sattvika mind will have a sattvika disposition, and that sattvika disposition will be reflected in sattvika food, will be reflected in sattvika worship, will be reflected in sattvika dana. In the same way, is it possible that sannyasa also can be considered in these categories of sattvika, rajasika, tamasika? Are you able to get what prompted this question of Arjuna in the 18th chapter to ask for the threefold or a pratak? That pratak is to divide. Show me the distinction. Right? This becomes a seed. Now, to understand the answer of Sri Krishna, and also to understand what is the sannyasa which can be divided into these threefold, what is very important to note here is about which type of sannyasa he is asking these threefold. What type of sannyasa is the focus of Arjuna? This point is slightly subtle, but I am sure you will be able to follow if you pay very close attention. The question of Arjuna, I am sure you all are clear, which we will be reading also in time. Whether it's call it sannyasa, call it tyaga, they are synonymous in nature, the words mean the same. But the question of three types of sannyasa can only be understood if we understand the whole concept of sannyasa and the various broad categories in sannyasa. Okay? There are certain broad categories. How many broad categories? 3 categories of sannyasa are there. 3 categories. Don't say rajasika, sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. No. There are 3 broad categories of sannyasa, and we should first understand what these 3 broad categories are before we can understand about which category Arjuna is asking about the 3 divisions of sattva, rajas and tamas. Are you? Is it okay? Manageable? First of all, what is the question of Arjuna? What are the 3 categories? What are the 3 types? Let us use the word type, category, differentiate. Okay? What are the three types of sannyasa? To understand the three types of sannyasa, what we need to understand? We need to understand the three categories of sannyasa. In the three categories, this question of Arjuna, to which category it pertains to? That is something we need to know. What are the three categories of sannyasa? Before we go into the three categories of sannyasa, the word sannyasa, what does it mean? The word sannyasa. The word sannyasa, wherever you require to note down, please note down. The word sannyasa has got a basic root as. The as. San, ni, as. Is there? There is a as there. That as alone becomes as. As means to throw away, to abandon, to renounce. As. The verbal root as. To this root as, you have two prefixes. One is sam, another is ni. Ni means nitaram. Nitaram means always, continuously, ever. Sam means completely, total, very well. So, what does the word sannyas mean? Sannyasa mean? Completely, always, to give up. To continuously, always give up is sannyasa. Now the question comes, give up what? Correct? Depending upon give up what, sannyasa becomes threefold. Because give up what, that what can be three types. Please note, we are studying a shastra. A shastra is a complete system of knowledge. Like how physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, mathematics, they are a system of knowledge. This is also a system of knowledge, wherein categories will be there, classifications will be there. All those things are here also. So what you can give up is threefold. Okay? What are the three? What you can give up? Let's start from the highest. You can give up your mind in the self, in the pure consciousness. You can throw your mind in the pure self and dissolve the mind in the highest reality. So here what are you abandoning? You are abandoning the mind. That is highest. Okay? Second, the next to that, you can abandon, you can throw, you can give up ignorance. Second. I said one is abandon the mind in the self and remain as pure consciousness. Remain as a pure Brahman. Nothing is there except the self of the nature of Satchidananda. What have you abandoned here? You have abandoned the mind which sees the variety, the multiplicity. This is one type of abandonment. This is one type of sannyasa. This is one type of renunciation. And the second type of renunciation is where you renounce ignorance. Where you renounce ignorance through the process of Shravana, manana, nididhyasana, you give up ignorance and get the clarity. I am the Supreme Reality. Aham Brahmasmi. Okay? So the highest, you dissolve the mind in Supreme Brahman and remain as Brahman. In the next, you get the clarity about your real nature by giving up ignorance. Alright? The next one, even to come to Shravana, these terms Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is clear? Shravana is what? Listening to the Shastra, listening to Vedanta, so that you understand, so that we get what the Vedanta tells. What is Manana? Manana is reflecting upon it, so that we get a logical understanding. And what is Nididhyasana? Nididhyasana is to meditate upon that, so that the habitual wrong tendencies are driven away. The habitual wrong tendencies of I am an individual, they are driven away. So in Shravana, we listen and we gain information. In Manana, we reflect upon the information logically, so that we get the intellectual clarity. In Nididhyasana, what we do, we maintain that understanding, I am the Supreme Brahman. And what we do, in the Vasana level, at the background level of our mind, is the thought, is a subconscious thought, I am the individual. That is destroyed by Nididhyasana. Are you all getting? What does Shravana do? Shravana gives you information. What is the information Shravana gives you? I am the Supreme Reality. I am not the individual, but I am the Supreme Reality. This information we get in Shravana. And what does Manana do? In Manana, we reflect upon this logically, so that we become convinced about that. This is Manana. So you're convinced that you are the Supreme Reality, but how are you living? Same old way. No change. Before, I did not know I was Brahman, and I behaved in a foolish way. Now I know I am Brahman and behave in the same foolish way. So how does one work at a deeper level? This is called as meditation or Nididhyasana, wherein one takes the thought, I am Brahman, and stays with the thought, so that the thought goes deeper and deeper and changes the unconscious habitual thoughts that I am the individual, and it works at a deeper level and conquers those wrong, opposite, contrary notions which are deeply ingrained. Shravana works at information level. Manana works at clarity level or intellectual level. And Nididhyasana works at the subconscious Vasana level. And once that happens, knowledge is distinct. Knowledge is clear. Therefore, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, what they do, they remove ignorance and give you clear knowledge. So this is a second type of sannyasa. Please remember, we are not talking sannyasa of dress here. Correct? We are talking of sannyasa in the actual philosophical, technical, proper, right, whatever word you may use, true sense. In highest sannyasa, what you do? The person who has got this knowledge. Which knowledge? Through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Such a person, he dissolves his mind in the pure self and abides in that wisdom. Such a person is called as Sthita Prajna Jivan Mukta. Right? So far we have seen two kinds of sannyasa. One is a renunciation of the mind, another is a renunciation of the ignorance. The person who renounces the mind has already renounced his ignorance. Careful. Yes? The person who has gained knowledge, renounces ignorance, such a person, he dissolves his mind. He renounces his mind in the pure self and abides in that ultimate state of absorption, which Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the second chapter calls such a person as Sthita Prajna. And in various places, Jivan Mukta. And in the 14th chapter, he is called as Gunatita. Remember? And in the 12th chapter, he is called as 12th chapter is called as Bhatta. Different terms. Such a Mahatma, abiding in Brahman, even if his mind wakes up, the mind is also Brahman for him. And even if the mind sees the world is also Brahman. Brahman, 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 Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Kantavyam, Brahmakarma Samadhina. After that, we are getting ready for food. But that is the vision of Brahman. Right? So, renunciation of mind. Knowledge is already there. Okay? The next one, the next lesser one, renunciation of ignorance. Now what has been gained? Knowledge. Okay? Are you grasping, or am I telling too many things? You have the notebook to note down. And the third one. What is the third one? In the third one is actually a preparation. Preparation. Even to come to Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, there is a preparation required. Nobody comes to the halls of Vedanta without, or comes and gains without being prepared. A mature mind can only come to Vedanta. And what is a mature mind? A mature mind is a mind which has in it Viveka. Viveka? Discrimination between Nitya, Anitya. What is permanent? What is impermanent? What is Vairagya? The capacity to give up the impermanent. Shama, mind control. Dhamma, sense control. Uparama, ability to withdraw from unnecessary work and action and needless agitations. Uparama, Shama, Dhamma, Uparama. Titiksha, forbearance. These are all maturity. Shraddha, faith in the spiritual knowledge. Samadhana, concentration. So these are called as Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva is the desire for liberation. Now these are what is called as preparation. These if one has, then one becomes a adhikari. Adhikari? A qualified aspirant for self-knowledge. Meaning, one can go into Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, give up, meaning renounce ignorance, sannyasa, gain knowledge, and then move further, dissolve that knowledge has been already gained. Dissolve the mind also in the supreme reality and be established not as a knower of Brahman, but be established as Brahman. Brahmaiva na Brahmavit. But to gain this preparation, what preparation are we talking of? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva. Would you like to write down that? What are the four? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva. Can you all tell me all the four? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva. Have you all got this? Have you all got this? No, I mean, do we have Viveka, Vairagya? Do we have? Some level we have. Don't say you don't have. If you don't have, you won't be sitting here, I won't be sitting here. We have, not complete. And that is why, in between, our mind goes away. Yes? And then we pull it back. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutva. Swamiji, I want to study this further. Where can I find this? Tattva Bodha. There's a book called Tattva Bodha. Right? This, a person who has got, is a adhikari who can go into the second step of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. But the question is, how does one get this? How does one get what? How does one get to become a adhikari? Meaning, how does one get Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshutva? How? Again by sannyasa. What sannyasa, Swamiji, now? This is a very special, very important, very practical, utmost important. And this stage is called as sannyasa of karma phala. Three kinds of sannyasa. Now I'm going to reverse the order. Okay? First I said sannyasa of mind. Second I said sannyasa of ignorance. Third I said sannyasa of karma phala. That is from top to bottom. Now let us go from bottom to top. Sannyasa of karma phala, sannyasa of ajnana, sannyasa of mind. Which mind? The mind which has known the self, that mind. Please remember. Because every day we do sannyasa of mind. Yes or no? Deep sleep, we do sannyasa of mind. That is not that sannyasa. This is a ultimate sannyasa. So when I say sannyasa of karma phala, it implies the performance of action. Because without performing action, how can you do karma phala sannyasa? Renunciation of karma phala. First you do karma. And in karma, when karma phala is there, you say, I don't want it. Swamiji, what did you mean by renunciation of karma phala? Why do we perform an action? We perform an action to gain something. Yes? It could be anything. It could be anything. Anything means what, Swamiji? A simple thing. For example, somebody comes and cleans the place. Okay? Cleans the place. Why are they cleaning the place? Because that is my job. Okay? I do the job. But do I stop with that? I say, now I am well appreciated for doing the job. Okay? Now after appreciation, it doesn't stop with appreciation. Next year, March, April, I have a salary. I am talking of a simple person who is sweeping. Just look at our own life. Person who is sweeping, I'll get a salary hike. And I will slowly become the head of the housekeeping department. And slowly I will grow. And then so many things we have in our mind when we perform an action. So we work with the burden of karmapala. Burden of karmapala. So many wants, so many hankerings for the ego. So many ways to puff us up. Have you heard of the puffer fish? No, it's okay, doesn't matter. So many ways to puff us up. Many times, action becomes the insignia of our ego. Nobody can do it. And even after doing so much, I have not been respected. I remember an incident from Pujya Gurudev's life. One of our secretaries of a mission center, secretary, president and all we have for the functioning and all those. He sent an email to Gurudev. Gurudev, I have been serving in this center for the past 20 years. This center has come up because of my effort. I was the founder. I first brought you here to this center and I organized the yajna, and because of my efforts the center has come up, and now after so much of effort I am being criticized here, and I humbly state that my work is not being appreciated. I. And at the end he says, because of all these reasons, I humbly would like to resign. If he had stopped with that, no problem. But then he added, I would like to have Pujya Swamiji's advice. You know what our Gurudev did? He took that letter, rounded all the I. Rounded all the my, counted all of them and said, number of I, 45. I'm just saying a number, okay? Number of my, 60. Reduced by 1/3, only 1/3. Problem will be solved. We carry the burden of karma phala, what I want from what I do. Action will have result, but you don't carry it in your head. Let it come. And when it comes, accept as God's prasada. This is called as renunciation of karma phala. I am not doing it for myself. I am doing it for the Lord. I am His servant. Whatever capacities are there, I did not get it. It happened. It came. It was gifted. What I have is God's gift to me. What I do with what I have is my gift to God. Pujya Gurudev. This is called as karma phala sannyasa. So how many sannyasa we have? First, karma phala sannyasa. Second, what we have? Ajnana sannyasa. Third, what we have? Manasaha sannyasa or manas sannyasa. Three kinds of sannyasa. We are talking technical sannyasa, philosophical sannyasa, true sannyasa. When a person lives a life of karma phala sannyasa, we call such a person as karma yogi. This term I'm sure all of you know, karma yogi. But nowadays the word karma yogi is used for a person who is a workaholic. Huh? He's a karma yogi. Why? He sleeps at 2 o'clock. What is he doing till 2 o'clock? From 11:30 to 2 o'clock, he's counting money. Have you seen those people? Have you seen? I have seen. Nowadays, money counting is less. Earlier and all, in our times and all, last job that fellow will do is count money. And at that time, he's so fresh. A person who is a karma yogi is one who does his action as an offering unto the Lord. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhava karomi yadya sakalam parasmai Narayanayeti samarpayami. Narayanayeti samarpayami. He could be working in an office. She could be a housewife. He could be doing a menial job. He could be the Prime Minister of the country. It doesn't matter. All of them, when they offer it to the Lord, they are sannyasis. Meaning, you could be a sannyasi, I could be a sannyasi. Swami, you are already a sannyasi. Yeah, I have the dress, no doubt. I mean, this sannyasa is meant for all. It is this sannyasa which purifies the mind. We said preparation, you remember? Purifies the mind. How does it purify the mind? A person who is performing karma palatyaga is an unagitated mind. And performing actions as worship to the Lord, his mind is ever imbued with the awareness of the Lord in life. God becomes the center of such a human being. Pradakshina, we go pradakshina. What do we do? Why do we do pradakshina? We keep God in the center and we go around. Such a person is doing pradakshina. He keeps God as a center of his life, not the ego. And performing this way, he becomes beautified internally. Nobility seeps in naturally. And automatically, he gets that state of mind which has got viveka, vairagya, shamadhi shatka sampatti, mumukshutva. So sannyasa 1, what is the result? Purifies the mind and makes you a adhikari. Shall we say like this? Sannyasa 1, sannyasa 2, sannyasa 3. From beginning we are, not from top to bottom, from bottom to top. Let's say sannyasa 1. Sannyasa 1 is called as karma yoga. What is the result of it? Purity of mind, chitta shuddhi. And what does chitta shuddhi make one? Makes one adhikari. So sannyasa 1 makes you an adhikari by purifying the mind. Summary. Sannyasa 2, what it does? Sannyasa 2 helps you do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, whereby you renounce ignorance and you gain knowledge. Sannyasa 2 helps you practice Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and helps you renounce ignorance, whereby you gain knowledge. Okay? Sannyasa 2. Sannyasa 3 is absorption in that knowledge, is the abidance in the knowledge through the practice, through the higher practices termed samadhi. Through the higher practices termed samadhi, whereby you renounce your mind in the self and gain abidance in knowledge termed jnana nishtha. So one helps you become adhikari. 2 helps you gain jnana. 3 helps you gain nishtha. 1 helps you gain adhikaritva. 2 helps you gain knowledge. 3 helps you gain abidance, nishtha. Okay? Have you followed till now? Swamiji, but what are you telling? Wait. Question answer will come. Wait. One is called Karma Yogi. So Karma Yogi is a sannyasi. In Gita's 6th chapter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Anashritah karma palam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi. He is a sannyasi. Karma yogi is a sannyasi. How many of you want to be karma yogis? Oh, all of you are sannyasis. No. Swamiji, dress is not. If you do like this, anashritah karma palam, then you are a sannyasi. Why? Because you are giving up karma pala. Okay? So number 1 is a karma yoga sannyasa. Karma yoga sannyasa. Number 2 is a vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha, desiring knowledge, he practices Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. He is a vividisha sannyasi. Vividisha. Karma yoga sannyasa? Yes. Vividisha sannyasa. Have you heard this term vividisha sannyasa? Anybody? No. So I am telling you, note it down. Vividisha sannyasa. Swamiji, what does the word vividisha mean? Vividisha means desire for knowledge. Desire for knowledge. And therefore you are practicing what? Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. At the end, what will you get? Knowledge. Karma yogi gets adhikaritva. Adhikaritva means what? Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshutva. Vividisha sannyasa, whereby you practice Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. At the end, what you get? You get jnana. Jnana, or you become a vidwan, is it not? And being a vidwan, you renounce your mind. Vidwan, renounce, sannyasa, vidwan, vidvat sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa. Alright? Are you waiting? Vidvat sannyasa. So 3 types of sannyasis. What are the 3 types of sannyasi? Karma yogi, vividisha, vidvat. Vividisha sannyasi, vidvat sannyasi. What does karma yogi get? Adhikaritva. What does vividisha sannyasi get? Jnana or vidya. And what does vidvat sannyasi get? Jnana nishtha. What does karma yogi renounce? Sannyasa, karma phala. What does vividisha sannyasi renounce? Ajnana, ignorance. What does a vidvat sannyasi renounce? Mind. You get it? Now the question is, three type of sannyasa in for which category is asking? Not for the Vidvat sannyasi who has dropped his mind in the self, not for the Vividisha sannyasi who is dropping his ignorance, because the categories cannot come there, but can come only for a practice person who's performing karma, renouncing karma pala. Therefore, Bhagavan, please tell me the three kinds of sannyasa or tyaga synonym with respect to a karma yogi sannyasa. Got it? Swamiji, this why you couldn't tell in the beginning itself? Why you went? If I don't tell so much, you will not see the point. It requires that introduction. We conclude. Even as we conclude, offer your Sashtang Pranams unto Pujya Gurudev. It is His grace and blessings, the benedictions of the Lord, which has brought us all together here. And has given us this chance to study the most sacred of the texts. Let us put into practice what we understand and spiritually evolve and see that ultimate realization in our lives. Earnestly pray to the Lord and to the Guru to bless you. So far we have come by His grace and blessings. May that grace and blessings continue to inspire us and take us forward till we reach the ultimate. And be with us even in the beyond. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.